Here I am again in this fucking shirt, bro. This shirt is so comfortable. Anyways, what up? I just watched the first Dark Knight movie like 2 days ago, which is crazy because I watched the other two and I just didn't know that there was a first one. I didn't know. I genuinely didn't know. I seen a TikTok edit of Scarecrow and I was like, is this fan made? What is going on right now? So I went and did my homework on it, and it's definitely enjoyable. It is definitely an enjoyable movie. Is it the best depiction of Batman? See, here's the thing. Christian Bale's Batman, it doesn't feel like it's Batman. It feels like I'm watching a black suit Spider-Man origin story. And it's so like blatantly odd. I don't know if they took inspiration. I mean, the release dates for the movies, Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007, and the first Dark Knight movie came out 2008. It's very close. I don't know if they was in production at the same time or if whatever happened, but the similarities is so there with the facts that where you see like how they handled multiple villains in the Dark Knight movie, the first one, where you get introduced to Rage, you get introduced to Scarecrow, and you get introduced to Falcone. Now, here's the thing with those three villains. They don't really line up in the best way. Like, you could definitely make it work, but it's not really the way that they did the storyline. It wasn't handled in a great way. Like, the thing that I liked about the new Batman movie, what I loved about it was that they had Penguin, Falcone, and Riddler, but it was a mystery aspect surrounding all three of those where it felt sort of like a Hush film at that point. It felt like the Riddler felt like Hush, but he's sitting there and you have to figure out like how all three of these characters line up, where it's like, okay, Falcone's doing this with like did this with like an orphanage and whatever, and then you get to Penguin and he sort of has this connection where he's running things with Falcone, but it's also like Falcone's double crossing Penguin, and then you get to Riddler who has a connection with the orphanage that Falcone and them was sort of like kind of funding but kind of ruining. And then there's also the connection with the Wayne Foundation that ties Batman into all three of these people. And then, okay, now we got a thing going on. That's not what they did with the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, they sort of just had, okay, Raish is tutoring Batman for his origin, blah blah blah, blase blase. Then you fast forward and he's now dealing with Falcone because Falcone was introduced where he was fighting against, no, he wasn't fighting against, he was controlling like all the police in Gotham and everything like that. And they introduced him. The fact is they dealt with him so fast though. And I hate that. I hate that so much. They dealt with Falcone way too quick. Way too fucking fast. The movie felt so short simply because the first villain that was hyped up at the beginning was it was so pushed away. And then to the fact where they're, okay, I guess fear is the main thing. So Scarecrow's gonna be the big main villain, the big bad at the end of it. No, Scarecrow's working under Raish. But here's the thing with my problem. Bane is in the third fucking film. Why is Raish the first main villain? Hold up. Bow. Why is Raish the first main villain of the movies when Bane has yet to be introduced to begin with? Why are we already fighting against the League of Shadow? It felt so forced, like they wanted to add something. Like at that point, if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to add like an organization thing, like Scarecrow's working for a bigger organization that's controlling everything, Court of Owls is right fucking there. They're in Gotham. It's an active thing. They are obviously corrupting everything why not just have the Court of Owls at that point? Because, and this is an early Batman. This is Batman first year at that point. So it's not like he's going to be ready to deal with Bane. So you couldn't have put Bane in the first movie. There's just no way that wouldn't have worked. Bane would have washed him. So it just didn't feel. And then the whole, his Bruce Wayne character, where he's sort of just, I feel like I'm just talking so much shit about the movie. But let me get this point and I'll tell you what I like. Where his Bruce Wayne character, there's no edge to him. There's no edgelord to him. Like, not edgelord for sake, but there's no grief to his Bruce Wayne. There's no, that's another thing that the Batman did great, where they had Bruce Wayne, even when he came back from training, he still had to worry about trying to balance Batman and the Bruce Wayne persona. Christian Bale came back from training, immediately philanthropist. It felt like Iron Man. It felt like he became Iron Man. You are not a Tony Stark ass nigga. You're not a Tony Stark ass nigga. You need to work on trying to balance that. That's the whole point of being Batman, and how he doesn't have a love life and all that. But nah, let's immediately just scratch that. Have him. This felt like Black Suit Spider-Man through and through. Literally, bro, this felt like, yeah, this had to have an influence. It had to have been influenced based off the success from Spider-Man 3, because it just feels like it. And even with, like I said before, even with the fear factor and Scarecrow and everything, Scarecrow was also sort of beaten in, what, 3 scenes at that? Like, I'm sorry, it's just. And the thing is, the Scarecrow actor, I had no problems with him. I fucked with him heavy. I rocked with him heavy. I liked the mask. I liked what he was doing. And another thing, what's up with Gotham villains always trying to mess with the water supply? I feel like the Batman definitely watched this movie and just worked on all his bad parts, and that's what made it so great. Because this movie had better potential, but everything was just poorly executed. It was just poorly executed. Like, but all right, let me tell you what I like. The fight scenes in this movie, I know they say that Christian Bale's Batman didn't have the best fighting scenes. The fight scenes in this movie wasn't terrible, though. They wasn't terrible. I always loved me a good superhero, like, putting the suits together for the first time. I always loved those scenes, and I loved how they showed him working on the Batcave and all that, how he was showing all the equipment and everything like that. I love how he was dealing with the boards. Like, I love the cockiness too. I love that. I love the cockiness. Even though I complained about how he didn't have no edge to him, I loved seeing this more grown up Bruce Wayne type of character, where he's already got everything taken care of. I love that. I genuinely did. I fuck with Alfred. You know, I always fuck with Alfred. I don't think there was truly a bad Alfred that I didn't like. But other than that, that's just my take. That's just my take on this movie. This movie was an enjoyable movie, yes. Was it a good Batman movie? It's in the air for sure. It's definitely in the air. Yeah, but that's it for this though. Y'all boys say I got 2 videos uploading right now, and I'm about to upload this 3rd one. Am I finally locked in? Finally. Y'all boys stay safe though. I'm out.